Bagolo Ezman Korev. Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lili Dishmasi Mimiros Risbus Mordechai. Live from Manchester. Yirak Kodesh, Manchester. It's a tremendous chus to be back. I'll tell you, and I'll speak a little bit later by the Siyum Beis Hashem, not that much, just for a few minutes. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I love Manchester. We did many Siyum in Baruch Hashem over the last few years, and I have to say it was one of the top, Be'emes. And just the Varmkai from the people, and the people that are so involved in the Shir that live here in Manchester, from Rabbi Bernard David, and Shimi Leafman, and don't worry, we'll get back to everybody, we'll schmooze about everybody and everybody's role. Those are the two people that come to mind because Rabbi Bernard David, he's the one that kicked off this whole idea of learning remotely, and he was a big part of it. Yeah? Did you come to say the news? Not yet. Because he's still holding tight. Rabbi Weisfish is here, and I'm not saying names to leave anybody out. I have a whole list of names we'll talk about during the Siyum, but it's so geschmack to be back here, and thank you for having me. Thank you for all those who flew in, and I will mention them Be'ez Hashem at the Siyum by name. Many people flew in from Eretz Yisrael, from America, from Gibraltar, from Manchester, from Italy. Some people flew in from Italy. 5 of us flew in from Italy. Yeah. So we have a pretty long daf here, and the Olam is hungry. We're going to go try to get to the Mishnah. Before we get to the Mishnah, I want to remind the Olam that there's only one day left to Masechtas Bava Metzia. And we're starting Masechtas Bava Basra. One day to Bava Metzia, starting Bava Basra. Can't say this enough. It's never too late to start doing the daf if you haven't started. And it's never too late to bring somebody to the daf. And when you bring somebody else to torah, even if a person is Talmid Chacham and learns a lot, but he adds another 45 minutes of learning to his life, which he didn't do before, you share in his chusim. Don't forget the cheshbon. Every word of Torah is worth 613 mitzvahs. The Talmud Torah Keneged the Kulam, it's worth 613. In 1 minute, you can learn 200 words, says the Chavetz Chaim, times 613. You do Daf Gemara, it's tens of thousands of mitzvahs. Every mitzvah, all those 10,000, you share in those 10,000. How? I'm telling you right now, Rabbi Isai, take out your phones. If you have a smartphone, if you don't have, if you have a smartphone, put it on your status. Right now, take it out. Don't miss the opportunity. You'll put in your status that we're starting Bava Basra. You never know. People tell me all the time, I put on my status, it doesn't cost anything, it's not embarrassing, put it out. And this random person sees it and comes to you in a year from now and says, because of you, I'm doing the daf, I'm learning Torah every day. Thank you for changing my life. It's that simple. But more than that, you all know people that were part of the shir or a shir, and they fell off. A lot of people fall off. Pick up the phone, call them up. Today's the day. Don't forget. You mizak another person. I want to show you just a few clips here. It's in Hebrew. For those that don't know, there's a TV show that's very popular in Eretz Yisrael. ערב טוב רבוי סי! ותודה לכם שאתם מצטרפים אלינו, אנחנו פטריוטים! כן! הערב עד השעה 10:30. רבוי סי! שיהיה לכם ערב טוב ונעים, בבקשה. אני רוצה בשלב הזה להגיד לכם שתם הטקס ותודה לאותם זימרי. This is for the Hebrew speakers. Basically what it's saying is record the patriotism and watch the daf instead. So that applies to the English speakers as well. And here is an inspiration to everybody. This is Reb Chaim Levin, a very successful businessman, a ben Torah, who has no busha. He's meshugal l'davar echad. Meshugal l'davar echad. And that is to bring another yid to Torah. He himself brought over 1,500 people to Torah. Yesterday, on his own, he brought 23 people by himself. He put a table in Flatbush with a sign, and he brought 23 people. You could also do it. There's no stopping you. The busha, you could do it. You do it once, you'll see it's not that hard and it actually feels good. You brought somebody to Torah. And here is just another one. If you speak Hebrew, you know somebody that speaks Hebrew and wants a shir, the shir is also in Hebrew. Baruch Hashem, over 500 Hebrew-speaking people signed up for Masechet Bava Basra. 500. So I'm a little nervous that the Israelis are going to take over the Americans and the English. We got to do something quick. We used to have 2,000 people joining us per Masechta back in the day by Megillah, Tainus. We could do it. We just need everybody's help. We have a lot of soldiers out there. A lot of people know people. And don't say, oh, he's talking about it again. Let the other guy do it. No. You do it. You pick up the phone and you do it. This is a very famous radio personality.
תמיד כיף ללמוד.
זה מהיר, זה קצבי, זה תוסס, זה שמח. דף גמרא ביום הופך להיות סיפור קל.
תטעם, תראה מה זה עוצמה של לימוד, מה זה כיף, מה זה הבנה של לימוד. אתה תהנה וגם יהיה לך ברכה.
באמת, זאת חוויה, זה דף היומי, אתה לומד את הדף, זה משנה לך את החיים.
אבל השיעור של הרב אלי שבר את כל המוסכמות, תענוג, פשוט תענוג, לא פספסתי דף אחד, ואני גם לא אפספס.
ואני ממליץ בחום לכל אחד להיכנס. השיעורים האלה נחקקו לי, והכל מההסבר הקולח, התמונות החזותיות, הסרטונים שרב אלי מעלה, השיעור המתוק מדבש, מלא מוסר, פנינים, מלא סיפורים, חוויה של שיעור.
וזה ישנה עליך את החיים.
הצטרפו לאלפי אנשים שחייהם השתנו.
Okay, so just real quickly, Kobe Sela, there's two people there. One is Menachem Toker. All different people listen to him on the radio over there. He's bald, but that's from a disease that he has, I think. And Kobe Sela is a TV personality, and he interviewed me on one of his shows, and in front of a live, not a live audience, it was pre-recorded, but he said, I do your shir since the beginning of Bava Metzia, faher me on anything you want. In front of the cameras. Nobody's ever done that. So I just asked him, I said, what's saw b'saw? And he knew, but whatever, I was very impressed. And finally, one last thing. Ari Chaimowitz, he's the guy on the left. He came and he did a day in the life of MDY. It's highly recommended. It just came out yesterday. There's over 8,000 views. You go over here to Ari Chaimowitz, wherever, I don't know, wherever you find it on YouTube or whatever. I think it's very gishmak. The editing is unbelievable, and you'll see a lot of behind the scenes, the cameras, Gary and Avremi and Noah, all these guys. Here, let me just show. I think there's a quick clip here.
Good morning, Rabbi Sai.
All right, so if you're bored one day, it's Gishmaka watch, and maybe you'll mechazik somebody. There's a lot of chizuk in there. Okay, so let's begin. The Avada, the sponsors, the Masechta is sponsored by Anonymous for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnas Chodesh, Eli Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, Eli Nishma Zechariah bas Yosef, Parnas Chodesh. The Refuah Shelaima, Neftali, Herz ben Henya Leah, a hidden tzadik in our generation. Parnas Chodesh, Refuat, hanefesh, and Guf for Breina, Bina, bat Miriam, Baila, and the Tanel Kolav ben Or Bracha, and Or Bracha, bat Breina, Bina. By Moe Landy, Lilu Nishmas, Reb Moshe ben Shmuel Yehuda, the Mashgiach of Torah v'das. L'schus Refuah Shelaima ben Shendel, fellow MDY, the one who brought me to the Daf, Refuah Shelaima. And for the parents Hayoim, for Refuah Shelaima, for Yeshua ben Miriam, Hadassah Leah, and Shira Bas Chemda. Rabbi Yisai, we're holding by a brand new Mishnah. Daf Kuf Yud Zayin Amud Beis. So, yesterday, we were learning about this case, which basically is two people living one above the other. One guy's renting from the other, and the guy falls through the ceiling. He has a little bit of an accident. Does he move in the guy in the bottom, etc.? We have a similar case. Says the Mishnah, "V'chein beis habad shubonik bisela." You have a large stone. They carved it out and they built an olive press. The father died and he left this thing over to his two sons. One took the bottom floor, which is the olive press. The other one took the garden on top. And look what happened. Caved in. The Gemara is going to discuss exactly what caved in, how much. V'gino achas al gabav. V'nifchas. And it fell in. Harei bal gino yored v'zirei lamato ad she'as le'vizbado kipin. All these sugis, I think, are somewhat related to Bava Metzia, really. But we'll see. The guy in the bottom has to build some sort of support for the guy on top. And until that point, the guy in the bottom, the guy on the top come downstairs and plant whatever he needed to plant. The base keep it. So we're talking about building things, so I just want to throw this thing in, why not? There were 3 people that were interviewed here in England. So what are you doing? They're actually building the parliament. So the guy's, what are you doing? The guy says, I'm mixing the cement. And what are you doing? I put the bricks on it. And what are you doing? He says, I'm building the most important building in Europe. Oh. Each and one of us has that one mitzvah, that one thing that we could do to bring Mashiach. It's one act. We don't know what it is. One maisa, one mitzvah. Depends on our focus. We say, oh, I'm doing this. If you realize, I'm here, what are you doing? I'm bringing Mashiach. I'm changing Klal Yisrael. I'm changing the world. Bringing a light to the nation. Oh, that's a different cook. You're doing the same thing as the other guy. This guy, he's mixing cement. No, you're not mixing cement. You're bringing Mashiach. Oh, we have a good shtickle video for this. Here goes. We're going to take some people out. It's not to push these kind of videos.
Do you think he's a professor?
Oh. So now you know what it means for a tree. If you didn't know, that's what it is. We were in Italy. Noam and Avi, myself, and if you heard the shir the other day, you know we woke up Shabbos morning and there was hundreds of trees just thrown down, just like this, all on the sidewalks. But they're very, very efficient. They come within minutes and they take it away. They chop it down. They're used to this kind of stuff. So. It seems from the Gemara that was an occurrence every other day. Somebody's house fell down, a wall fell down. You know, they didn't have the materials that we have today. The guy's potter. Why is he potter? No, why is he potter? His tree fell into the Rosh Hashanah and hit somebody in the head. Why is he potter? He's oinus. He didn't know what's going to happen. Since he didn't know, he's potter. Let's say Bezdin walks by, they see the tree is about to fall, and they say, listen, you got to take care of this. They said, your wall's about to fall down. The Gemara in Tainus, the famous Gemara in Tainus, Refuat used to drive around with his golden chariot and see a wall that's about to to fall down, he'd tell his slaves, go out and break it down without asking any questions. Break. If the guy was wealthy, he just kept on going. If the guy wasn't wealthy, they would give him the money, they would pay for it. But it's a thing. See from the Gemara over there also. Fall down, Sheni v'chamishi. Bezdin says you got to take care of your wall. You have X amount of time, the Gemara is going to say 30 days. So if it fell down in 29 days, you potter. If you fell down 31 days later, you chayiv. Says the Mishnah, you have a wall between two neighbors, and the whole wall falls into the neighbor's property. I want to plant something. I want to grow some fruits, vegetables. Get your wall out of here. You know what? Take the whole wall as a gift. We saw the other day, there was a whole fight about the wall that fell. Who owns the dirt between the bricks? Who owns the actual bricks? Who owns the wood? I'm giving you a great gift. I'm giving you the stones. Ain't shoymim loy. He doesn't have to listen to him. Listen, if he wants it, great. But he doesn't want it. He insists, you take it out of my field, out of my chatzir. Mishakibel olav, but once the guy was zoicha in the stones, he does want it. How was he zoicha with kinyan chatzir? Now the owner of the wall has charata. He wants the stones. It's kishmak for him. He wants them. He says, you know what? How much did it cost you to move the stones out of here? Now, if we pay attention here, then we don't have to pay attention later. How much are these stones? How much to get them out of here? How much did it cost you to get out of here? So you see that he took them out of his chatzir. Let me take the stones. I'm the owner of the wall. I told you could have them. I have charata. An Indian giver. Yeah, is there such a word here in England? No, it's an American concept. I have no idea what I'm talking about. How do they say it here? When somebody gives a gift and takes it back. Kensnish. No, it's not nice. It's not politically correct to say it. Okay. You don't have Indians. Whatever. Oh my Lord. I gave you a gift, but you know what? Let me just give you what it costs you to move the stones. I want them back. It's too late. The other guy was kind of them. Similar case, Reb Eli says. He hires a worker to take the straw. Now here's a good shaila. Who was paying attention during the Masechta? If somebody, Ruvain owes Shimon $1,000. Shimon took £1,000 pounds. Could Shimon pay him back with 500 rolls of toilet paper instead? Yes or no? Anybody? Who said yes? Yes? Why? Huh? Shovik kesef ki kesef. Gewaldig. Manchester. The holding. Shovik kesef ki kesef. He's right. So now let me ask you, Talmud Chacham. You have an employee and you owe him $100. Can you give him 50 rolls of toilet paper instead? Shovik kesef ki kesef. But Shavak Kesef Ki Kesef. What about the Malva? You said Shavak Kesef Ki Kesef. He could buy food with it, but not the employee? Okay, the answer is you can't, but for a different reason. You can't because it's, the Pasuk says, Rashi says, Bal Tolin Zchorei, B'yoymer Titin Zchorei. You have to pay him his schar. There's a special limud that you can't pay him Shavak Kesef. So now the guy worked to move the straw. The employer, he doesn't have cash now. He says, you know what, instead of cash, take some straw. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. It has to be cash. He says, please give me cash. So the employer says, take some tevin. We don't listen to him. But what if the guy says, you know what, I better chop whatever I can chop today because tomorrow I won't even get straw. So he says, okay, fine, give me the straw. And then the guy, the employer says, why did I hire you to do the straw? Because I need straw, I have a bakery, I need it. You know what, let's trade. I'll give you the cash. I found cash. I'll give you cash, give me back the straw. Too late. Very similar cases. where a guy doesn't have to take it, but at the end he took the stones, he took the straw, and once he takes it, he doesn't have to give it back. So the Gemara is going to discuss why do we need those two cases. Nivchasa. So if we go back to this case, where the top fell in, says the Gemara Nivchasa, Rav Omar Beruba, Ushmuel Omar Ba'arba. Rav says most of the top fell in, and then he could go downstairs. Shmuel Omar, no, even if 4 by 4, which is nothing, it's like this much. 4 by 4, he can move in downstairs. Rav Omar Beruba Ba'arba, Adam Zureh Chetzi Lamata V'Chetzi Lamata. He doesn't have to move in completely downstairs. Let him plant everything upstairs, and the 4, whatever is missing, he'll go downstairs and plant over there, because it's normal for somebody to plant in 2 different places. No, even if it's a very small amount like arba, he can insist on taking over the downstairs until there's a solution upstairs. Says Gemara Tzricha, we need both cases. We had the same exact case when this guy, where is he? When he fell through, and over there we had the same machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. How large was the hole? Was it 4 or a ruboy? Diashmin and Dira Balkamar Shmuel. Shmuel says even a small amount he can move downstairs because it's not normal for a person to expect a person every time he wants to use his blender, his toaster oven, he has to go downstairs. Because what can you do? What's 4 tefachim? 4 tefachim means it's the size of a piece of furniture. So it's little table. So every time he wants to use the table, he has to go downstairs. That's not right. But it's normal for people to plant in different places, so let him stay upstairs, and the little bit that he has to plant, he'll plant downstairs. That it's normal to plant in 2 different places. It's not by a house, it's not normal. Then even in a house, maybe he's moided at 4 tefachim, he can move down. Okay. Nasl Izman, we said this already. How much time did the Bezdin tell him to chop down his tree to take down the wall? Bekam Izman Bezdin, or Rabbi Yochanan Shloshim Yoy. Mi Shahoyak Haisloi. So the wall fell into the chotzer, and the guy says, take it as a gift. And then afterwards he regretted it. He says, let me pay you for it, etc. From the fact that the Mishnah, I pointed out when we learned the Mishnah, the fact that the Mishnah says, take your expenses. We're talking about that the stones are gone. He removed them. Seems like he removed them. What if he didn't remove them? So then he could regret. The owner of the wall could take his stones. How could the owner of the wall take the stones when it fell into the guy's chotzer? He told him, be koinet, and automatically his field is koinet. How? Bekinyan chotzer. This just came up with me. I think you should come over here right now and get over here and show the Oilam how to do a status. The Oilam doesn't have how to do it. Come. No, it's cover that torah. What do you mean no? It's not for me. It's not for you. It's above both of us and everybody here. You're going to get another person to torah. By the way, Reb Eli, I got to tell you something. Gershi did something today that nobody else did. He got Gary Ben Moshe to sign up to the. Gary Ben Moshe has been with us for 6 years, but he's busy behind the cameras. Bob Basri started. What are you saying? Doesn't matter. You get more schar because he's showing them how to do it. Get over here. Come on. He's Messiah 3 times and then he came up. Mamish la'alach, Givaldi. No, how does it work? Show the Oilam. Shalom, shkoyach.
I'm trying to get my 100th guy today.
100th guy?
So if everybody...
Wow. You'll get it in a second. Just show them how to do it.
Do it together.
You show them. No, you gotta show the
No, we'll do it. It's simple.
No.
Take a picture.
Smart. Nice, I like that.
I have a friend told me you offered him $1 million if he joins the Daf here in Manchester.
I don't have $1 million, so I would never do that.
Rabbi, so take any picture, any wording, it's not so hard. I'm doing bizyonis. It's worth it. Rabbi, have I got anyone who's signing up? Give me one hand. Somebody who wants to sign up right now? The daf, all you need is 7 days. He's not doing it.
Oh, here.
His life was changed by the daf.
Of course it was.
We're going to post it right over here. In 20 seconds, we'll get somebody to sign up for the daf. Pure millions of words of Torah.
How does it go? No, so tell them step by step. How does it work?
Everyone knows. It's simple.
No, they don't know. They don't know. Tell it to people that are 51 years old and up, like me.
Right.
You go into WhatsApp.
Updates.
You go into WhatsApp, you go into updates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Start either writing, take a picture.
Yeah. What do you write? JoinMDY.com. That's it.
3 exclamation marks. That's it. Or
and
change
then,
your life, or anything that comes to your mind.
But how do you post it to your status?
Once you're writing,
you go into WhatsApp and it says updates.
That's it.
And then it gives you the option to start writing, or even to bring a voice note or a video. If you get this video, one of these videos somehow, you ask somebody to send it to you, and you post it.
That's it.
And then all these people that are in your phone book, they open it up,
they see it,
and they say, "Oh, I heard about this daf. Let me join." And that's it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything.
Well, even it's people like me who are very shy.
Anybody want to try it here? Oh, here, he's trying it. No,
yeah,
don't be embarrassed.
There we go.
Do it. Who else? He's taking a picture. No, Michal's taking pictures.
He joined the daf. He joined the daf today.
He did? Michal's joined. All right.
That's it. Shkoyach.
Givaldik, Shkoyach. Be'ez Hashem, you get your 100. Today's your 100. Emes? Givaldik. Okay. Remember, I didn't know Pshat over here, so I just decided to distract Oilam. Skip it 2 lines and go weiter. Where are we holding? Shloishim. Misha Kaisley. Hamid Gadi said that it's a Mechlad Bina Skino. Time the Bina, the Bina Loy, I might be taking this today. Domer B'Yosef B'Chanino, Chatzer Shalom, Koinel Shalom Midaita. We know that your Chatzer could acquire something even if you don't know about it. What kind of Chatzer? Does anybody remember what kind of Chatzer we're talking about? I heard somebody saying it. Who said it? Who said that? Very good. What's your name? You go to Shirley Bornstein Shir? Very nice. So, we're talking about Chatzar Mishtameres, obviously, a Chatzar that watches what's in there, and you're not even there. If it falls in, like a deer that can't walk around, the bird, injured bird, your Chatzar is kainet. So over here, you have a whole bunch of stones that fell into the Chatzar, and the neighbor says, take them as a gift. You don't have to be there. The Chatzar is kainet. Oh, that's only when the owner of the wall wants you to be koine. He's makne to you. But over here, he doesn't want you to be koine. He said, be koine. He said, I'm giving you a gift. What's going on here? The Gemara says, a moiridik chiddush. You hear what's going on here? You hear? It's unbelievable chiddush. Seriously. The guy with his mouth said, I want you to have a gift, all these stones. But we know that he didn't mean it. I don't know. Chachamim know that he really didn't mean it. So why did he say it? Because he doesn't know how to take the stones out of there. He doesn't have the money now. He doesn't have the time. He's busy. He's going to work. So the guy shouldn't drain him a cup. He said, take it as a gift. He figured it'll come at night and he'll give him a little money and he'll take the stones. So that's not considered a kinyan. I'm not mocking it to you. That's what the Gemara says. I know it's a big chiddush. So we have 2 cases. The case where the guy works in straw, and instead of getting cash, the guy tries to give him straw. And we also had a case where the wall fell in, and the guy tries to give him the stones, even though he doesn't want them. Both cases, he doesn't want the straw, he doesn't want the stones. But if he decides to take them, he acquires them, and the other guy can't have charata. So the Gemara says, I need 2 cases. By the wall, the owner of the wall doesn't owe him any money. He doesn't want this gift. But in the case of straw, he's an employee. An employee deserves money. So maybe he'll just take whatever he can get. Maybe he can force him to take the straw. I don't know. Maybe that's what we were thinking. Because people say, if somebody owes you money, para. Pare is brand. Just take whatever you get your hands on. We have a picture for this. Givaldic a picture. If you owe somebody money, if somebody owes you money, take whatever you can get your hands on. If he comes with a bunch of diapers, whatever, take it. Leilim didn't like it. And if it said it over here by the case of straw, he owes you money, so maybe that's why. But when a guy doesn't owe you money, maybe when he gave it to you as a gift, maybe he could come and take it back because he doesn't owe you money, even if you took the stones out of there. Tzricha. Okay, so I need both cases. When the employer wants to pay with straw instead of cash, we don't listen. In fact, we learned somewhere else that he could pay with straw. When the guy worked in the employer's field to move the straw, that's what we said, you can't use straw to pay. However, but when you're working by his friend's house, he tricked you. He said, come work by me, and at the end he made you work by his friend, then you could get paid with straw. And the Gemara asks right away, what's the difference of friend and you? Who's responsible here? The employer made you work for his friend, so he still owes you cash. What's the difference? You owe me money. If I work directly for you, you owe me cash. When he makes you work for his friend, you have to pay him in cash, not with straw. If he fooled him and made you work by his friend's house, the guy that fooled you, he pays you in full. And then the guy that fooled you, that paid you, he could go and recoup his money, all of it, from the balabayis, even though he didn't know about it. That's a different story. But at the end of the day, he gets cash, not straw. When he when it's his own stuff, he's making you work with his own straw, he has to pay cash. But when he makes you pick up hefker stuff, then he doesn't owe you. It's not like schar sacher hefker. Then he can pay you with straw. Why? So if you think about it, when he pays you with straw, you work. Think of a guy tells you, "Hey, pick up all the straw." You're done picking it up. He says, "Okay, so take the straw." So it turns out you didn't even work for him. Turns out you worked for yourself. You picked up a straw and you took it home. So that's why you could get away with straw. So Rav asks his Rebbe, when you hire a worker and he finds a nice diamond ring, he could take it to himself. When he told him to do something very specific, I want you to use the shovel, I want you to do this. He just said general work for me. And he's mamish like an eved azoy, and yadoi ki yad balabayis. And if he finds a diamond ring, he has to give it to the guy that hired him. So Mela, what about over here? The balabayis should have to pay cash according to this. So we have another teretz over here. When the worker lifted the stuff up, so that's it. The guy owes him cash. But when the worker only stared at it, then he could pay him with straw because he didn't make it clean. All right. Who are all these kids over here? What school are you from? Sifta. Anybody here do the daf? Istam came for fun. You did the daf? Do you have MDY socks on? Did you prove it? Who has? Oh, this guy has MDY socks. I see. Because last time I was here, like the whole row had MDY socks. Stay. What's your name? Avram. Aaron. What's your last name? Azet. Why? Who gave you those socks? The CEO. Givaldik. Okay, Geschmack. Thank you. Thank you for wearing the socks. Hi guys. Zog the Gemara. Omer Rabba. Hapata behefker tanoi. Where's Shimi? Shimi's busy. Where's Leafman? Is this the school you want me to go visit? Am I yotze now by just saying hello to them? No, I have to still go there. Okay. Says the Gemara, this is very interesting. If you steer, you look at something that's hefker, is it yours or not? So if you remember the beginning of Masechta, I think we had this thing. You said not really. Habada behefker tanoi, says the Gemara. So it works like this. We know that the second day of Pesach we have to bring a carbon oimer. Yeah? Carbon oimer is made out of barley. Where does this barley grow? Only in Eretz Yisrael. So what happens when it's a year of Shemitah and you can't grow barley? Nobody grows barley. And you have to bring a carbon oimer. And if you don't bring a carbon oimer, what happens? You can't eat it. Are they very makbid on Chodesh here in Manchester? I heard they're very makbid on Chol Yisrael. There's no Chol Stam here. Ad Kei Kach, the Olam didn't even know. I asked people if the Chol of Stam is kosher. They didn't know. Like in America, milk is kosher, it's just Chol of Stam. The Olam didn't. Is it kosher or not kosher? It's not even kosher. No, forget if you're allowed to eat it. Is it kosher? Is the milk kosher here? You don't even know. Or vice versa. What? What? It's no different than in America. Wow. You know my famous Maisa? I don't know if you heard the guys that do the share all the time. No, the guys that didn't, I'll tell it to you. I was doing this house in Miami. We own this place in Miami. Which, by the way, what's his name? Yisrael. What's the last name? Kornblut. So Kornblut is in Miami. Shalom Aleichem Yisrael. He is big part in setting this whole thing up. And also Dov Harris from London, who set up everything last time. He is in Miami. Anyways, we have a place in Miami, so we're setting it up. And this Lubavitcher guy, he was doing the work there. So we're driving, and he's telling me about all these averas that he did. And the kids are just recently, he had to fix his father. He got into an accident with his father's car. He didn't want his father to know, so he drove the car on Shabbos to the shop. So the guy's a beard, the whole thing. Shem Yirachem. While I'm schmoozing, he says, "Can I have some of your cake?" I mean, it's cheesecake. Says, yeah. Give him a piece of cheesecake. He's eating. All of a sudden, he starts screaming. He says, "Stop the car! Stop the car!" He buses. He gets out of the car, and he starts inducing vomit. He starts making himself throw up. He throws this finally, and then there's grass. He takes grass, starts chewing the grass, spitting it out. A whole scene. After 5 minutes, he comes into the car. He said, "What happened?" He says, "You mishugana you. You machshel me on Chol of Stam." And the Rebbe said, Chol of Stam is from the Chamuros. That's what he told me. So I said, I don't have. You just tell me about Chil Shabbos and you tell me about Chol. Like, what are you talking about? No. So, it's great. At least he's marking on that. But over here, it seems like you guys are in the same category almost. It's treif. They don't even know. The Rav Machshe here, I think it's treif. Rav Behemis are treif. Okay, you could be soymach and some kula. Okay, gewalt. Anyways, you Americans, whoever's here that thought about drinking the milk, do not drink it. I don't care. Omer Abu. Habota behefker tanoi. We said this. What happened? No, at least the Rebbe had a shpah here in Manchester. That's all you can say. Fine. Zok, where are we? It's not Shemis. Oh, so we're by Shemis Svichis Shvis. So what we need to do is, there's something called Svichim. These are the barley that grows by itself. In other words, some of the seeds fell out off the tractor the year before. They fell, nobody realized, and they started growing. So it's a Metzia. You get barley for free. Nobody planted it. Here you go. Here's barley for the Beis Hamikdash. We have to put somebody there to watch it, that nobody else chaps it. This guy that watches it, he gets paid. Here's the Trumas Halishka. No, every 3 times a year they take the Chatzi Shekel and they use it for korbanos, etc. So from that pile, we give him some of his. We pay him. because he's working for the Beis Hamikdash, he's taking money from the Beis Hamikdash. If he feels like it, you can go back to regular. We don't need this. Oh, here's the more. Now I have what it is. Here we go. Check this out. Oh, this is a good one. This guy is watching the Svichim. There's three pieces of barley. They put the guy in charge to watch it. So this guy has a Humvee in the background, the Ganze Maisa. This guy gets paid from the Beis Hamikdash. He doesn't have to get paid. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Not to get paid. So it seems like it could be a very bad thing. If so, it turns out that the barley is not owned by the community. It has to be all of Klal Yisrael. And the Gemara is going to explain 3 different ways to understand this. But nevertheless, we're trying to bring a machloikis tanoim, whether you could steer at something that's hefker and be koine. The Tanakama Sovar Habada Behefker Kani. Tanakama holds that steering at the barley would make it who's this shomer guy. And if they pay him, so he kind of releases it and lets the Beis Hamikdash have it. But if they don't pay him, it'll be his bahabata just by looking at it, and therefore it's a big problem because now Klal Yisrael doesn't have a carbon oimer. Reb Eli says that staring at it, you're not koyin of v'chiazli, and it's not a problem. Therefore, it will be the Beis Hamikdash v'chiazli tzibur. Umaisi hashtu de kozachi bei. They'll be zoiche right now, and it's bought with the mominat tzibur. Uma or is the tziburs. Uma toimer. So therefore, we have to understand what they told Reb Eli that according to you, it's a big problem. If we take our word, your words, midvarecha, and our words, we have a problem. What do you say? You hold that you don't have to pay the guard to watch the barley. Lidvareinu, and what do we hold? That habata behefker koina, just looking at hefker, you koina. If so, we have a big problem. Why? The guard is going to chop it for himself. Since he doesn't get paid, and he could steer at it and be koine, now it's his. So the Beis Hamikdash doesn't have barley. So you want to say this is machlokes tanoim whether or not steering is koina. No, perhaps everybody holds that it's koina, or perhaps everybody holds it's not koina. The first side is everybody holds that it's koina, and we're concerned that he's not going to give it over nicely, believe shalom to the Beis Hamikdash. He has a nice piece of barley. Imagine, you're in Shemitah year, there's nothing to eat. There's no rugelach, there's no cake, there's no bread, there's no pizza. If you're a carb guy, you know what I'm talking about. It's very, very bad. And finally, he comes upon some barley, and they say, no, you have to give it to the Beis Hamikdash. He doesn't do it with the ganze hearts. And it's his, because he's kind of with habata. Just pay him off. And if you don't pay him, we have to be concerned. No, he's dealing with the Beis Hamikdash. He's going to give it over. Believe shalom. Don't worry about it. You don't even have to pay. So then, why the Chacham say it's a big problem? What do they mean? Midvarecha, lidvareinu. From your words and my words. Your words. What do you say that you don't have to pay guard? Lidvareinu l'chashin shem lo yimser yafa. But we're concerned that you're not going to give it believe shalom. Since you're not giving it over believe shalom, so now we have the problem that it's not the communities. Or you can say the opposite. Basically, the Gemara is doing the classic thing. You don't have a right from here. There's a machlokes tanoim whether staring at something that's hefker, you're koina. Because you could say either everybody holds it is koina or everybody holds it's not koina. So now we're going to go to the other one. The kula alma abadu hefker loy koina. Staring, looking at hefker doesn't make it yours, right? It doesn't even make sense. How do you look at something and it becomes yours? Yeah, it's hefker, I chap, but what kind of kinyan is looking? Over here we're just concerned about the tough guys. You hear what's going on here? You have a tough guy. You have a guy that wants to eat pizza, and he sees the guard over there. He doesn't care, and the guard tells him, "Hey, this is not for me. This is for the Beis Hamikdash. This is for all Klal Yisrael. It's to get rid of the problem of Chadash. You can't eat the new wheat until you bring the carbon. The guy doesn't care. He comes and he takes it. But if I pay the guard, then he won't take it. Why? Because then he chaps, it's taka the Beis HaMikdash. If you just tell him above Maisa that's the Beis HaMikdash, he's not going to listen to you. But if he knows that you get paid, and everybody talks about, the Beis HaMikdash paid this guy to sit there, that's why he's sitting on an armchair and he's watching, it's for the Beis HaMikdash. Stay away from it. We're only going through the mission, don't worry about it. Not the first Mishnah. What sponsors? Who sponsored? So say the sponsors, no? Zog. Boy said there's people that get so excited. You know why we have sponsors? They get so excited to scream out sponsors. Some of them don't even know what's flying in the shear. They don't know what that for. Sponsors! He rather knows. I see that he knows. Umat Oimer. So in Rav, in Rav she made a rule. That's right. So you want to be the one. Rabbi say in Manchester, it's only him. That's it. From today on, it's only him. What's your name? Oh, the Rav of the shul. So, Gershi, come here. Give me a frasking upon him. All right. Sorry, Rav. All right. Sponsors. Today, l'kavod our Rav, there are no sponsors. Huh? Oh, he's not the Rav. Okay, good. So I can keep it starting up with you. I don't know. People are just throwing me stuff. Who's the Rav here? Really? What's your name, Rabbi? Shapsi Cohen's brother? Oh, really? Shalom Aleichem. Chashiv guy. So Shapsi Cohen's son, who learns the yeshiva, finished the Masechta with us, I think. He's already... No, yeah, the whole Masechta, yeah. He came over when it was 90 days. A young bacher, he comes every night. Beautiful. All right. Listen, I want to tell you something else. There's a guy from the Hebrew Shir, Mordechai. What's your last name, Reb Mordechai? Hartstein. Guy with the white yarmulke. The only guy here with a white yarmulke. He flew in from Eretz Yisrael, from Bitar. His wife bought him a gift. No, because Shapsi lives in Bitar. Right, so, and he comes on a bus every night, 2 buses, I don't know, whatever he does, and he flew in. He's not like a gvir or anything. He lives in Bitar, and his wife said, I know you want to go, and he came, he also flew in to the Miami Museum, just for one day, and he never told me. So the guy flies in, I see a guy with a white yarmulke in the Miami Museum, Shalom Aleichem, goes, Aleichem Shalom, finished. 2 years later, he says, by the way, I flew in then just for one day to come to your museum. Really? Oh, enough. Say hello to him. Chashiv guy. Anyway, so what was the discussion? What did the Chacham say that's going to be a problem? This is what they said. You see what I see? I see the last Amud in Bava Metzia. It's unbelievable. That's how fast Bava Metzia went. That's how fast Bava Metzia is going to go. It goes like this. It's unbelievable. If you take your words, what's your words? That you don't have to pay the guard. Lidvareinu ein boim mishel tzibur. So it's a very interesting thing that happens over here. What do we buy with this money, with the Trumas Halishka? We buy korbanos. You see, we buy korbanos, the carbon tamid. Every morning, every afternoon, there's a carbon tamid. We buy from this money. The problem is, if there's 4 zuz that belongs to the shomer, and the shomer says, I'm moichel, we're not sure, 100%, yes, no. Now we have money that really belongs to somebody else in that pile. It's a problem, because now you're going to buy a carbon with that money. It's not really based on Mikdash money, it belongs to the guard. That's what they were telling you. That's the same, this teretz was said by Rabbi Yochanan himself as well. Zogt the Mishnah. Hamoitzi zevel l'shus haram. In those days, everybody could say, we have all these Gemaras, you could just say every day, Baruch Hashem. Well, I'm sure there was a lot of Milas living then, there was a lot of Kedusha, but a lot of the other stuff, Baruch Hashem, we don't have. This is one of them. The manure the waste that comes out of cows, they would take it and put it in the middle of the street and wait for people to step on it. And people would step on it, shma, and we're not talking about that good shoes, went a little bit into the shoe and this and that. Very geschmack stuff. And they would soften it up for a bunch of days. So if you take out your zevel into the Reshus Harabim, you better do it quick. You don't have any right to do that, according to the Tanakama. If you want to put it in there for a minute and somebody will come and take it and buy it off you, great. But don't leave it there for a long time. And you cannot leave the clay in Reshus Harabim. They'll take like a large piece of lime or whatever it is, and they would let it dry in the sun for many days. The guy would come with some sort of tool and mark out where the stones, the size of the stones, and then when it dries up, they give it a clap right at that cut, and it would break into the stone. Can't do that in the middle of Reshus Harabim. Reshus Harabim is a place for people to walk, not for you to have brick factory. You don't make these stones. If you already have ready-made clay, you could mix it up in Reshus Harabim. Can't manufacture the stones. If you're building and you want to use Reshus Harabim, bring the stones and the guy builds. And if you cause damage, you have to pay. You're allowed to bring it there, but if it causes damage, you have to pay. Who's an Atzala over here? Oh! In England, you're allowed to go through a red light on a call. So what if you hit a car? But what if you do? It happens. You ever see these videos of two ambulances? You have to pay. So that's a similar thing. You're allowed to go through a red light. You're allowed, but if you cause damage, you have to pay. Or you're allowed to put your stuff in the Reshus Harabim. If somebody slips on it, you're in trouble. So Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Oimer af misakin hu es melachtoi lefnei shloishim yoyim. So Rabbi Shimon Gamliel argues on two things. First of all, Tanakam says you can't put the stuff, this manure stuff in the Reshus Harabim at all. He says you're allowed to put it there for 30 days. Not only 0 time, 30 days. Second of all, if somebody slips and falls on it, you don't have to pay at all. Potter. She's mechulek on two things. Says the Gemara Lema season like Reb Yehuda. The sign Reb Yehuda Oimer. What are we doing with time here? How much time are we already? 2 minutes we have to get to the Mishnah. Reb Yehuda holds that you're allowed to put the zevel, the manure, in Reshus Harabim. L'chayr is mechulek on the Mishnah, and the Gemara says yes, he's mechulek on the Mishnah. But before the Gemara says yes, he's mechulek on the Mishnah, the Gemara is going to try to say that he's not mechulek on the Mishnah. Reb Yehuda leave the waste, the mamish, the smelly stuff in middle of Reshus Harabim for 30 days. That people should step on it, or and the animal should step on it. That was one of the conditions Yeshua gave Klal Yisrael. Says the Gemara, I'll try. I feel the time Reb Yehuda, perhaps Reb Yehuda does go like the Mishnah. You're allowed to put it in Reshus Harabim, but if it causes damage, you're chayiv. The Mishnah says don't put it in Reshus Harabim. The Mishnah is giving you a eitz toiva kamash malon. We're advising you against it. Don't do it, because what are the chances that somebody's going to slip on it? Very high. And then they're going to come and they're going to sue you. So don't put it in Reshus Harabim. If I would have known that Fishel flew in all the way from Baltimore, then I wouldn't have put in my camel walking through the Reshus Harabim. I have to ask him, Fishel spent a lot of money on 3D, and he inspired me to get a 3D artist, which we have now that works the whole time. And he had a piece over there of the camel walking through Reshus Harabim. Remember that, Fishel? Yishkoyach her Fishel. Something like. By the way, I advise the Olam here to go shmooze with some of the people that flew in from Chutz La'aretz. You have here mamish from the biggest tzadikim in the world. Fishel. I went to Baltimore a few months ago, my wife and myself, and a few guys from MDY. The same people are here tonight, actually. Mark Ashkenazi, Yossi Klein. Gary, you were there? In Baltimore? Who was there? The second time. Just a few months ago. Moe Landy, but Gary came with me from Eretz Yisrael. So, Fishel Don't go to him for any Nedavos or anything because he doesn't have any money anymore for that. But he spent $300,000 at a shul in Baltimore. They should all be mekarev them to Torah in Yiddishkeit. Never tell me. They had a whole program, and they're not getting any incentives or anything. The 70 people that are doing the daf and doing other limudim, the man is a real tzadik, a walking tzadik, living legend. You're talking about Mark Ashkenazi. Tzadik, you say, go speak to these people. Yossi Klein, Bemis. People that care about Klal Yisrael and they give their entire life to Klal Yisrael. It's unbelievable. Zok the Gemara. I'm not joking. Where are we? We have plenty of time. If you walk, you put your candles outside on the street and somebody is nizik from it, then you're potter. Why? Because he did it with permission. So the Gemara understood, my lav rishus the Bezdin. Bezdin gave you permission, just like Bezdin gives permission to put the manure on the rishus rabbin. And maybe if somebody slips and falls on the manure, you potter, just like by Ner Chanukah, you potter because you have rishus to put it outside. Loi, rishus the mitzvah. It's a special rishus to do a mitzvah. Pirsuminisa, it's a mitzvah to light Chanukah every night. That's why you potter. In fact, the Gemara, anything that you're allowed to do in Rosh Hashanah, like throw out the wastewater, throw out different things. Rashi says different examples. But at the end of the day, if it causes damage, you must pay. Reb Yehuda poiter. So you can't say that Reb Yehuda doesn't argue on the Mishnah. Here you see Mefurish Reb Yehuda poiter. Ella machvartem asisin like Reb Yehuda. In fact, our Mishnah doesn't go like Reb Yehuda. Omar Baila, Reb Yehuda, Reb Shimon, Gamliel, Reb Shimon, Kulu Sfirlu, Kol Mokim Shenosu Lechacham Rishos. I want to look this up. If Abaye says it a lot of times, maybe I'm wrong. But it's a common thing in Shas that somebody would say, these three Tanoim who said three seemingly different things, it actually has one Makar, one Yesod. So we have this Yesod that when Chachamim give you permission to do something, like an ambulance, you let it go through a red light, you still have to pay for it if it causes damage. Reb Yehuda Hodamar, this Mishnah that you're allowed to put the manure outside and around, but if somebody slips and falls on it, you're chayiv. Reb Shimon Gamliel the Snan, Reb Shimon Gamliel, the one that says in the Mishnah, Reb Shimon Gamliel Oimer Af Mesakenu is Melachto Lefnei Shleishim Yom. Does anybody remember where we learned this Reb Shimon Gamliel? In the Mishnah a few minutes ago. You're allowed to... The Eilam was holding in the seam already. The food. What are they serving tonight? Herring. Gewaldig. Chol Yisrael milk. Shimon Gamliel says you could put the stuff, the manure outside, and you have 30 days and you're potter. Reb Shimon Desnan, if you have a nice hot oven and you live on the second floor in England also, the floor is made out of wood, right? Everything's made out of wood like in America over there. So you can imagine the damage that the heat causes. It could catch fire. Make sure you have a maziva. That's what we learned yesterday. They would put on top of the wood, they would put a layer of like cement. 3 tfachim, it's pretty thick. That's how much you need in order to have an oven upstairs. So Bekira, if it's a smaller oven, tefach, all you need is one because it doesn't have that much heat. But if it causes damage, burns down your neighbor's house, you have to pay. Reb Shimon Oimer, why did they say put 3? If you have to pay for damages, so put 0. If it causes damage, you pay. Why did Chacham say 3? To tell you that if you put 3, you don't have to pay. So here we have a matzav of Chacham said you're allowed to do it, and if you do it and you're mazik, you're potter. Torah. Simple stuff. For a stone to get from the mountain in Italy all the way to your house here in England, there's a bunch of steps. First, there's a guy that takes the tractor, breaks out a big piece. Then there's a guy that cuts it down nicely and smoothly. Then there's a guy that schleps it, puts it on he does the delivery. Then there's a guy that puts it on the wall. Then there's a mumcha that straightens it out. Each one of those steps, when the guy takes care of it, he's chayav for all the damages. Obviously. Then he passes it over to the next guy, so the next guy's chayav in all the damages. That's the whole thing. Hachatzov, the guy that quarries it out of the mountaintop. Shemos Lasatos, he's the guy that makes it nice and smooth. Hasatos chayav. He takes the full responsibility. Satos Shemos Lachamar. He puts it on the delivery truck, the donkey. That guy is chayiv. Now you give it to the guy to carry it up, to schlep it up. Today you have a lift, it takes 10 seconds. Over there, you had a guy schlepping brick by brick up the stairs. It falls off his shoulder, hits somebody in the head. Chayiv, he's chayiv. Once he gives it to the guy that builds the wall, chayiv. You have a professional that uses a whole tool and this and leveling system, and he makes nice designs for the windows and the whole curvature. Adrichal chayiv, he's chayiv now. And listen to this, you're not going to believe this. If that final guy puts the stone on the top row, viziko, and it fell down and it hit somebody, he broke a glass, shattered a window in a car, kulon chayovim l'shalem. Even the delivery guy has to pay. What's going on here? Doesn't make any sense. Everybody should be potter, like it says in the Breisa, only the last guy is chayiv. That makes sense. Loy kashya. Says the Gemara, when they all are in this together, it's one package deal. We're going to bring it, we're going to chop it, we're going to do it. They're all partners. So every step of the way, even if the delivery guy ruins it, everybody has to pay. Even if the guy that schleps it up, everybody has to pay. And if the last guy does it, everybody has to pay. If the first guy does it, everybody has to pay. Unless, of course, he did it on purpose, like he was B'Sheya, and it fell off his hands, then only he has to pay. Rabbi, have a wonderful day. Yishkoch for having me. We'll see you soon at the Siyum.